Hey, welcome back to Manor Road Studio, home of the Alive podcast. And I'm Dale, and once again, Chris is missing, but that's okay. We can do this without her. The other day we talked about bridging the gap. And what I meant by bridging the gap was, just because people are different than we are doesn't mean they're wrong and we're right, or vice versa. Sometimes to create relationships or to grow and evolve into a better being means that we've got to bridge the gap. We got to be the one that goes over the hump to say, you know what, let's all sit down at the table and all talk. The conversation should always be both sides of the fence. So if you want to bridge the gap, if you want to evolve further in your life, you want to become the best person you can be, stop clinging to an ideology that very possibly could be wrong, or at least there's opportunity to enhance it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and this kind of resonated in my mind. I want to share it with you. Regardless where we're at in life, whether we're 10, 20, 50, 70, 80, whatever the case may be, as long as we're breathing, our life's not over. And, I've heard people go, oh, man, I wish I was a postman, or I wish I was a baseball player, or I wish I owned my own business, or I wish I did this. Well, folks, here's the sad news. Somebody's going to do all of those things. It might as well be you. So never sit back and go, oh, well, I can't because. We got to get past the because. We have to stop allowing circumstances to convince us that we can't do something. I'm telling you, there have been people that have been in worse situations than any of us could ever imagine that have found a way to thrive. So it's sad that we go through our lives trying to simply survive. You'll never allow somebody to pull you down to a level that they feel like you should live at. We've got to elevate ourselves up and then find people at that level that we want to be around so we can go higher. Now I'm telling you, there are plenty of people in the world in your sphere of influence that want to hold you back. I know it's sad to hear, but very few people want us to be successful. Some encourage us, but I don't know that they encourage us honestly. So it's incumbent upon us to, again, be around people that are where we want to be or higher than we want to be so we can start elevating ourselves. Some of you know that sometime back, I decided to practice, cards. And I remember when I first started, I'm like, good God, how do these magicians do some of these things? How do they make the card appear, disappear, or whatever they do? Well, practice. And little by little, I started figuring things out, and I started getting a little better at the art. And that stands so true with anything. I remember in my life that early on, I loved to bowl. And I wasn't going to quit bowling until I got to be the best, or at least in the best in my eyes. But it took practice. And this is going to sound crazy, but there were several years I was bowling anywhere from 10 to 20 games a day to hone my art. Not always to hone my physical skills, but to hone my mental skills. Because usually the thing that separates anybody from anything in life is mental. And again, that doesn't matter what you want to be. If you want to be the best at what you do, you've got to mentally have an edge over the next person. I was talking to somebody again the other day, and luckily for me, I get emails and conversations from all over the place. And this person was working at a fast food place. And we got to talking about customer service and so forth and so on. And she's like, oh, yeah, I don't care about blah, blah. This is just a stepping stone job for me. And I said, well, hold on a minute. I said, if you want your day to go smooth, you want your day to be, I don't know, easy is the right word, but for it to go better, why don't you give the absolute best customer service you possibly can? Put smiles on people's faces. And I guarantee you, at the end of your day, it'll be like, wow, that wasn't too bad. Versus always being, can I help you? Being full of cynicism. And then at the end of the day, all you've got is table conversation about how bad everything was. It's up to us to transform where we are in life and to elevate ourselves to where we desire to be. It takes small steps. But, like I said earlier, somebody is going to be what we want to be. And it might as well be you. Now, once again, when it comes to alive, obviously authenticity, love, imagination, victor, evolve. We're going to continually talk about those things because those 5 things, acronyms, attributes, whatever the heck you want to call it, is what drives everything that we do. We've got to have an imagination to realize that whatever people think we can't do, by golly, we can. Then we got to start the process of evolving to get there. Now, with all that being said, I think we paved the way for something I want to talk about. As many of you know, I've spent a lot of time studying and meeting with people and talking about what I call religious recovery. And I need to preface this by saying, or rather make a disclaimer, that I'm not sitting here referring to every church in America. So don't think I am. Don't think I'm even opposed to church. Church and people in the church do amazing, amazing things in our community. But there are some that step across the line and do things they shouldn't. Just today, I was talking to somebody, and she shared with me a story about how a friend of hers was going to a particular church, and for whatever reason, some of her friends quit going, so she quit going. And then she had a friend invite her to another church. And now, fast forward 6 months, and this particular preacher who has since been exposed, but he was taking advantage of older people and literally milked them out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So religious abuse is real. It's really, really real. And it's up to us to recognize that pattern. And if that's something in your life that, again, is holding you back, then it's time to take a hard look at it and realize, am I doing the right thing? Is someone taking advantage of me? Is somebody unconsciously to me, subconsciously to me, holding me back, not letting me prosper? Telling me this is where God wants you to be. Never believe when somebody says this is what God wants you to do. They don't know what God wants you to do with your life. And I really don't like it when I hear those things. Or people that go, well, just sit back and pray and God will send the word to you. Okay, here I go. God's not going to send the word to you. It's up to you to become active in the miracles that you expect. If you sit back and do nothing, I promise you, you're going to get the exact return on your investment that you have invested in it. Nothing. And, I want to read something to you. This is kind of maybe jumping forward, but you know me, when I'm on these podcasts, I go crazy. This is from a religious recovery site on Facebook that I'm a member of, and I really, really like it. And this is what somebody wrote. People can be so convincing at times that we often get caught up in their words and their emotions without taking time to ask ourselves one simple question. Is what they are saying true? Now, extraordinary claims should require extraordinary proof. If the only proof someone has to give you is faith, then you need to start figuring out where that applies in your life. I'm not saying don't have faith. I'm saying don't let blind faith direct your life. You have got to be the person that owns your life. You've got to claim it, and you've got to claim it now. Other people will gladly live your life for you. And then when that happens, before you know it, you'll look around and you won't even recognize who you are. You'll look back and go, wow, what happened to my dreams? Where did my hope go? You allowed other people to live your life. Today, you're going to claim it. You're going to own where you are right this minute. It doesn't matter what yesterday was. We're products of our past, but we're not prisoners to them. So I'm telling you that what you did yesterday is a stepping stone to today. And what's going to happen tomorrow is infinite. We've claimed our life. We own it. Now we're going to direct it. We're going to write our own story. We're going to direct our own movie. And in the end, it's going to be exactly what we desire it to be. Because all the people around us, they're going to be the supporting cast. They're not going to be the ones casting stones. People that are casting stones at us, we're going to exorcise them out of our life. And like I said earlier, we're going to start to elevate ourselves up a notch, up a notch, up a notch, until we can't even see the clearance rack, much less be on it. Our value is so much more than we recognize. But the only way to get the value out of what we are, who we are, is to claim the person we desire to be today. So there you have it. Right here from Manor Road Studio, the Alive Podcast. I'm Dale. Find me on Facebook, Dale Childress. Would love to hear from you. Subscribe to me on YouTube. Email me, dalechildress@icloud.com. Check out my blog, dalechildress.blogspot.com. And any kind of question you have that relates to life, love to hear it. Love to discuss it on the air here. So be sure to give me your feedback. I care. And I'm not sitting here telling you I'm right. I'm just giving you an opinion. And that's my opinion today. So look forward to seeing you again soon on the Alive Podcast.